Through my work at Tomorrow Today, I have spent the last 6 years helping companies across all different industries at various different levels institute self-sustaining and incredibly successful mentorship programs. Now, I don't go in and do the mentorship. What I do is I help companies formulate a mentorship program, choose mentors, and then match mentors with mentees. And then what I do is I train the mentors to be effective mentors, and I train the mentees to be productive mentees. And the reason why I'm so passionate about mentorship is because I think it's one of the key ways that we can retain talent. But one of the things that interests me is that companies often don't think about how they could effectively institute a mentorship program that focuses on retaining female talent. Because all too often, because of the feminine biological imperative to go off and have children at some point in their 20s or 30s or perhaps even early 40s, companies tend to lose a lot of talent. So they've invested in these women. There is a huge amount of expertise and knowledge and skill and incredible value that women bring to any organization, and all of that is lost. Well, not all of it, but I mean, often the company itself that has organically grown this person loses that person either because they want extended maternity leave or because they choose to go off and become a mompreneur. So a mompreneur is a growing trend amongst professional women who, after they've had children and spent 2 years going to mums and tots parties and lost their network and their skills are now outdated, etc., they think that they are best served going into a different kind of work. Perhaps the sort of work that their mother or grandmother might have done for no payment, they are now turning into small businesses. So corporate South Africa, big companies, JSE listed, etc., are losing a lot of female talent. And I wonder if you were to focus on giving women mentorship, perhaps when they're not even necessarily under the roof of the business, so to speak. So in other words, if you allocated a woman who was on maternity leave or taking some time off, on sabbatical, offboarding, as they call it, if that person were to be able to stay connected to the business through a mentor, a genuine relationship with somebody who already or who has stayed inside the business, perhaps they could retain their networks and retain their skills and keep that sense that they belong to the business, and it's likely then that they will return to the business. Now, I'm not suggesting that this mentor has to be another woman. I think that there is value in having a man, an older man, somebody who is unlike you as your mentor, and that's part of what I train on. Who would you choose as a mentor and why? I think it is absolutely imperative that you choose your mentor voluntarily and that indeed mentors are voluntary, because I wouldn't want to take any prisoners in a mentor-mentee relationship. But the point is that if you're away from the business, if you're focusing on something else, if you're working from home, if you're only loosely connected to the institution that you used to work for full-time, through a genuine relationship with somebody who is still there, it's a lot more likely that you will return to that particular business or to that particular organization when you're ready to come back to work. And perhaps that's 5 years from now. Perhaps you're a mompreneur for a couple of years and then you go back to being a lawyer or an accountant or an engineer or a teacher or whatever it is that you were doing before. There are a lot of case studies. Siemens is a good one. Ernst & Young is another good one, where this is really working inside businesses and organizations, where there is a woman who is paired up with somebody at quite a senior level inside the business, and they meet when outside the business. I tell clients that the best sort of pattern to follow from a mentorship point of view is to meet off-site, i.e. outside the business, for at least 1 hour, at least one time a month. Because that way there is time to engage with whatever goals you're wanting to achieve or whatever information you're working with, to engage with that in the interim or in between meetings, but at the same time there is a sense of consistency. The other thing to really note when looking at a mentorship program is that if you are going to engage with a formal mentor, it's imperative that there is some kind of monitoring system. And what I always advise my clients is that that monitoring should come from the mentee and that it should be personal. So it's not necessarily a one kind of assessment fits all, but rather that the mentee, with the help of the mentor, goes on quite a personal journey for themselves in a way that is maximizing the benefit for that person.